I'm going to show you how to find your photographic style, but also how to deal with the ever-changing trends. I'm Scott from Tin House Studios, and this channel here is all about how to get the most out of your photography, especially for those who want to become professional. If you've been struggling with finding your style, if the terms niche, genre, style all get muddled up into one big mess for you, or if you're feeling a little bit lost in your photography, then I'm going to help you here. I'm going to describe what these keywords mean, why they're important, how to utilize them, how to find your style, and at the end we're going to go over what to do about these ever-changing trends. Do we follow the trend or do we stick to our guns? Let's look into that. For me personally, it took me 10 years to find my style, but I'm going to help you do it in 10 minutes. Firstly, let's look at the key terminology here. And we'll start with genre. Genre is the big picture here. Genre is the big one. That is, what's the subject? And for us, the genre can be photography. It can be as broad as that. Now, with all of these things, it's not too important. They're just semantics. It's just words. But it helps if we're all on the same page. So our genre, my genre, for me, is still life photography. I'm a still life photographer. That's my main genre. Then we have a niche. And the niche is the specialization. So for a long time, my niche was food photography. My genre, still life. My niche, food photography, and the all-important secret key ingredient, my style, was bold and graphic, and it still is. And the reason style is so important is because the photography industry, contrary to popular belief out there on YouTube, is made up of tiers. And at the tier where the money is made, each photographer gets hired for their own individual style. If you're trying to find a top agent and you're like, well, I do a bit of everything, they're not interested. They want someone who does just that one thing. And the reason style is so important is it is your number one advertising tool. It's your number one marketing tool. It is your business card. It is the reason we don't put watermarks in that work. Once you have a key style of work, you can change your niche and you can change your genre. I can do bold and graphic photography of a chair, of a person, of a drink, and of food. I can take my style and change my niche within my genre of photography. I can even broaden it from still life to people, and that's really important. Now, of course, if you're just a hobbyist and you have no intention of ever making money from photography, or if you're an artist but you don't ever want to be recognized for your artwork, ignore all of this. It doesn't matter. Go and take pictures of whatever you want, however you want. Do a different style every day. Absolutely. But if you want to create work of merit in the artistic realm, or if you want to create work which will get you paid the big bucks in the commercial world, the style is key. And think about it. We have people like Platon. We have Leibovitz, Vivian Maier, Henri Cartier-Bresson. All of these photographers, if you see their work, you look at a Platon portrait and it's all up here and distorted. That's a Platon portrait. You know it's a Platon portrait. And because his style is so unique and because it's just him that does it, when somebody needs Platon to shoot a campaign, they pay the big bucks. With my agent specifically, Peter, agent at large, he is very keen that every photographer in his books has a style. So if you go to my agent's website, I'll pop it somewhere up here, you'll notice there's many food and drink photographers. We all do the same thing, seemingly, but we all have a unique style. And when a client comes in, they will want that perfect style for that perfect campaign. Your style's kind of your voice. If you were a singer, it's the way you sing. If you're a writer, it's the way you phrase your sentences. Yes, you can be a writer and you write novels about murders, but your style is the way in which you do it. And it's in all walks of creative life. It's not specific to us photographers. We're not special. And I know we like to think we are. I guess we're a bit special. But it's very important. Now, the problem you're having right now, I'm imagining, is you're going, yeah, but that's great, Scott. You just do one thing all day. All you do is that one bold and graphic thing. Do you not like other stuff? And I do. I love other stuff. But think of it like this. I play in a death metal band. I don't. I play in a death metal band. I go to my gig. We produce this particular type of death metal. I know nothing about death metal. This is probably a bad example. On the way home, though, I'm listening to Taylor Swift and a bit of classic 90s hip-hop. Doesn't mean I can't like other things, but when it comes to my true essence of creativity, that is who I am. That is my style. Now, let's try and find your style. Let me help you find your style. We're going to do a bit of 2 different exercises here. There's a third one for later, but 2 for now. And the first is, imagine you're allowed to take 1 photograph in your entire life. Just 1. What would that photograph look like? That's your style. What would that photograph be of? That's your niche. And the genre is probably photography or documentary photography, something like that. But what would that look like? Just one photo. For me, it would be super simple, like the simplest image ever, block colors, just beautiful stuff. That's a really good way to help you think about what it is that your style could be. Now, maybe that doesn't work for you. And let me tell you how I find my style or how I can track backwards through it. Let me quickly show you some stuff. This is the greatest book of all time, Green Eggs and Ham, Dr. Seuss. Now, if you look at my work and you look at Green Eggs and Ham, you'll notice I had this red to me a lot as a child. The colours, the blue in here is the blue I use in my images. The red is the red I use. The green, I use a slightly different green, I'll be honest. The yellow is the yellow. But also the way it's written. Would you like them here or there? I wouldn't like them here or there. I wouldn't like them anywhere. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham. I do not like them. Sam I am. That very childish, slightly precocious kind of way of phrasing things is in my images. I'm very heavily inspired by Dr. Seuss books. Also, I'm very heavily inspired by this brilliant photographer. This is my first edition copy of The Democratic Forest, one of the greatest photographic books of all time. Now, you'll notice my arms aren't long enough to do this. There we go. There is a different look to this work than mine, but where I draw my inspiration is the colours. But not just that, it's the way that William Eggleston photographs. William Eggleston photographs the mundane, the everyday, the boring. Think of food photography, you're probably thinking of like swordfish, steaks, amazing fancy food. Look at my website, it's junk food, cheap food, and sweets. It's the everyday, it's the mundane, it's the childhood. And when you start to combine Eggleston and then you start to bring in someone like Dr. Seuss and then my sort of interest in brutalism, my interest in pop art and all those things, you can see how this all comes together. So all I had to do to find my genre and style was to go, well, what do I like to photograph? What do I like to look at? What do I like to see? What am I trying to talk about here? That's my genre. And then who am I? Who am I as a person? What are my inspirations? Like, my studio looks the way it does for a reason. It's not a particular design style. It's just, this is just me. The way I dress is me. It's block colors and bright bits. It's all about having that unique style, and everybody is unique. There is something unique about everybody, and it's just trying to find it. Now, obviously, with me taking 10 years to find my style, that's not ideal. But I have this great workshop I've put together for those wanting to go a bit further than this, and it's called How to Create a Commercially Viable Body of Work. And I'm going to give you for free one of the bits within that workshop, and it is one of the tasks I get everybody to do, the homework as it were. And that is to go onto the internet and find 20 images. Photographs, paintings, sketches, doodles, whatever. CGI. Find them and group them. Once you've grouped them, work out what the similarities are in the images that you like. Remove anything which doesn't really fit in there. Go back through it, find more, start grouping them. And once you've got these stacks of images everywhere, it's a case of going, right, the reason I like these is because they all have these beautiful lines through them. We like lines, put lines there. The reason I like these is because of this. And you can start to physically craft a style out of cut out pieces of paper or do it digitally in Photoshop. Craft it together, build up exactly what it is your work should look like. And it might be a case that there's a picture of a Mini, there's a painting by Monet, there's, whatever it may be, a picture of some German brutalism concrete structure from back in the day, all brought together. And then it's translating that into a photographic style for a niche, for a genre. And that is how we do it. That is the real key bit. But of course, we have an issue here. Now, as everyone goes to me, well, it's great, Scott, your style's in trend at the moment. You must be loving it. And yeah, I am. What happens when the style and the trend change? What happens when the trend moves away and your style's sat there going, well, where's my love gone? Where's it all gone? What's going to happen to me in probably 5 years' time when my style is not in trend? And it's a good question. Of course, right now I'm making more money than I naturally would because of being in trend, but it won't be the case forever. Do I suddenly follow the trend? And no, I don't. And here's why. If you follow the latest trends on Instagram, Pinterest, whatever the social media platform is, there's like masses and masses of images that are all over the place being combined together. If you do that, you become one of millions. Being the best out of 1 million people taking a picture of a girl wearing those like metal rimmed glasses with neon lights behind them is nearly impossible. But being different to that is very easy. It is much easier to be different than it is to be better. I've made a career out of being different, so you trust me on this. By being different, you're always in demand. Someone will always want something, whether it's classical portraiture in an Avedon style, or they want the latest, like split color lighting, whatever it may be. There's always a need for it. And of course, and here's where people get really a bit confused. My style will evolve. I won't let it evolve to follow a new trend in a different direction, but it will evolve. My style's already evolved. From my early work in the style I work in now to my latest work, there's been an evolution. But it's the same with everything. I've always worn block colours, but my style's changed. The clothing I wear has changed. It evolves. I get older. I learn new things. My tastes change. That constant evolution is key to the success and longevity of your career. Now, if this hasn't quite explained it properly to you, there's a great video here from a different channel that goes into this in a very different way, and you might connect more with that. I hope between the two of them, there's something in it for you. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.